manager, a weary manager, I think, though.
A very weary one, I can tell you, Ger. I think it was the toughest 35 minutes I ever sat on the sideline at any time or at any game. Second half, for a while there, we were struggling, and then, Jay, we played some fantastic football, especially in the last quarter of an hour. It was amazing how fellas, our team today, raised their game, you know. We were so bad in the Munster final, and I'd say the press, and rightly so. I think they were writing us off and said that we were going over the hill and what have you. But I think we proved today that we're still not gone. There's still an old kicking that dog all the time. And, well, we hope we'll do well in the final.
And who cares about Bert Certs?
Well, Bert Certs, no matter. I said to all players after the Munster final, I myself played on until I was 37 years of age for Kerry. I won the Tixico when I was 35. Ger Power has another year to go there, so it could be another few years in Ger Power and Mikey and Spillane. They'll have to put up with these fellas for quite a while yet.
What was the plan, though, for the 7 weeks between the Munster final and today? Obviously, to get your team into shape. Did you take a bit of a gamble for the Munster final, can I ask you?
Well, to be honest, Ger, I can say it now, I did, yeah. You know, our team, as everybody knows, they're getting on in years. And I decided that there was only one way that I could get the team to a peak. And I was hoping that we just about get over Cork, which we did. We were very lucky. The gamble Cork could have beaten us in that game. And if they did, it would have been a terrible injustice. But we just got over it anyway, and that's the way we wanted it. Today, we had 7 weeks to prepare for today. We worked ever so hard with about 8 of them for about 4 weeks. We got the rest of the players to join them then, and you saw the end result today. They gave a fantastic display.
You sure there was no need for the bus passes just yet?
Not quite yet.
It was a fantastic display. You got a good break in the first half with that Ger Power goal. That was a little bit fortunate, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know, was it fortunate? Ger is capable of getting those goals any day. He got 2 of them against Monaghan last year. He was in there, and he was lucky that he wasn't sandwiched between the 2 men that collided there. But, you know, he just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But that's the sign of a great player and a great forward.
And I'm sure you were pleased to see Willie Marr come on and score in the second half.
Yeah, Willie played exceptionally well when he came on. And, well, we have no doubts about Willie. I mean, Willie maybe would have been on that team for the last 2 years, but as you know, he broke his leg in the Munster final 2 years ago, and it's only just about now he's recovering, and he's trained very hard. So Willie, no doubt, will be a player of the future, and we'll hear a lot of him.
I suppose people at this stage are expecting this Kerry team to go on and on and on forever. You'll be playing in beards, I'm sure, eventually.
I don't know, we're enjoying the game, like, you know. We have no notion that, well, all right, we're going to have to give it up sometime, but at the moment I think there's a few younger players creeping in, and it's keeping us on our toes, and I don't know, I think we're in good shape. Like, I think if we take the chances we get, like, I think that's the point when you get a bit older, you seem to take the chances, you get a bit better, like, whereas, you know, you're a bit younger coming on the team, you seem to make mistakes, but when you see the gap a bit older, you just take, and that's it, and I think that's what's keeping us there, like, you know.
The game degenerated at one stage in the first half into a series of pulling downs and frees, etc., and it really was spoiled at that stage. Did you feel that the whole game, in fact, was going to evolve like that?
No, I thought in the last 10 minutes there, when we went 2 points ahead, I could see, you know, if our midfielders were staying in the middle of the field, like, and Tom Spillane was beginning to get a bit of toughness in the back, like, we went 2 points ahead at that stage, like, you know. I don't think our backs were under any great pressure to get a goal, like, what you call it, they got a lot of ball in the first half, but they were getting all frees, like, you know, except Cullen and Rourke got a few off play, but I don't know, the backs held out well, like, you know.
The Kerry style of play always amazes me. At one stage in the second half, I think Pat Spillane was playing right back. He was practically having a chat with the goalkeeper for about 5 minutes during the second half.
Well, I think you might as well let Pat do it, like, because he's trying to tell him that he can do it, like, you might as well be talking to the wall, really. he likes that style of play, like, and I don't think anybody should interfere with a crossing zone style of play, really, like, that's his style of play, and you just put up with it and let him off, like, you know.
Boy, does it work.
But I think it's a great way of getting into the game, which he does, gets into the game fast, like, you know.
Mick, you can reflect here and now, but you've 4 weeks to go to the All-Ireland final. You're going to be the hottest of favourites against a team who've never been here for the final before. So, I mean, will you have to get your team to peak a second time?
That happened in 1954. I remember well that a Kerry team came into an All-Ireland final against Meath, and Meath beat them. It's something that we'll have to try and guard against this now and between this and the final. We will have to work hard and harder between this and final day. We'll do about 2 weeks of very, very hard training, and then we'll try and taper it down from there. And I'll be hoping that I'll be able to maintain them at the level that I were today.
Do you remember what Peter McDermott said in '54 when he received the cup? He said, beating Kerry is like winning 2 All-Irelands. That's what Tyrone will believe, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, at this stage, Tyrone will have everything to play for, you know, and we'd love to see Tyrone win an All-Ireland title, but we're in there, Ger, and we're in there to win it.
Not at your expense.
That's true.
I'm not too sure if Mick O'Dwyer wants to see Tyrone win an All-Ireland final that badly. And then, Colin, if I can turn to you now. What impressed me today about the match was Kerry not only won, but they played as well today as I've seen them play for quite a while.
Yes, I think it was a day in which the limitations of this Meath team were cruelly exposed by the brilliance of Kerry. There's no doubt about it, their display today was fantastic. A Kerry team, I might say, that we were all waiting to write off, but on today's forum we certainly can't write them off for quite a while yet. And I think that Meath can take heart in the sense that no other team, I think, with the exception maybe of Tyrone, as we have yet to see, would have done any better against that Kerry team today.
Yes, this was Meath's first All-Ireland semi-final in 16 years. You'd expect them to go to Croke Park with all the determination to do well. But on the day, it was really the Kerry players who had the hunger for the game.
Yes, I was amazed really at the commitment and dedication and the way the Kerry players were willing to harry and tackle and throw themselves at the boot of opponents today. They were like the team that were in Croke Park for the first time. We have an example of it here. Joe Castles is in possession here, but Ogie Moran is in very fast to block down his kick onto the ball and flashes it over the bar without picking up the ball. Had he waited to pick it up, he would have been marked. Here another example. Brian Stafford in possession, no danger here, but Owen Liston, far from his position at full forward, throws himself on his boot, causes them to lose possession. Ogie Moran avails of the opportunity, sends in a high ball, and there's panic in the Meath defence at this stage, and I think that Ger Power can't believe his eyes when he gets up to see the ball in front of him and an open goal. But the way the Kerry guys were prepared to tackle and work for one another on occasions like that, it was just kind of reminiscent of a young team in Croke Park that would be hungry for success.
Now, Kerry have been playing this style of football for over a decade now. It's there for everybody to see, for everybody to emulate. But really, on today's evidence, nobody does it better than they do it themselves.
No, I think that Kerry are obviously the best at it, and today the quick interchanging and the quick hand passing amongst them was bewildering at times. Ger Lynch in possession here. His path towards goal is blocked, but he passed it on to William Maher. Now Pat Spillane has it, no chance of taking a shot, and he sends a good ball right across the field to Ger Power, who is loose. Ger tries to get through, can't, interchanges passes between 2 or 3 Kerry forwards, and eventually Tom Doyle is found in open space. Kerry were prepared to throw the ball around very fast, and then when the opportunity presented itself, they were able to take their scores. But the way and the quickness and the slick passing there, it was very difficult for the Meath defence to mark them.
Meath had their chances to score goals in this game. They fluffed those chances. Do you think if they'd put them away, even one of them, that it could have turned the course of this game?
I don't think so, but I think it would have postponed the inevitable for a little while. But on today's forum, I don't think Kerry would have been beaten anyway.
Now, we've been talking about these Kerry players, these Kerry forwards in particular, only one of them, I think, under the age of 30, and we've been saying how old they're getting and all the rest of it, but let's blow this age myth about them. They looked as sharp and as determined today as ever they did, and they moved much better than the Meath players who were much younger.
Yeah, much faster, and also they varied their tactics and their approaches, and they didn't try the same avenue towards goal at any one time. And at times they tried the short passing, but when the opportunity presented itself, they used the long ball. Here in this instance, we have Tom Spillane using a long ball right into the Owen Liston. Owen flicks it on right into the path of William Maher, and William Maher has no opportunity of picking off a point. Here was the long ball and the quick flick on. Tom Doyle kicks this free. Ogie Moran gets possession with difficulty, evades 2 tackles. Pat Spillane is loose on his left. Pat sees Jack O'Shea. Jacko flicks the ball down in front of William Maher, and an easy goal. But really, it was made by the quick interpassing and also by the flick on by Jack O'Shea. Jacko had his hands full with Jerry McEntee today, I thought, but he did an awful lot of useful work around the field.
Now, Eddie, we've had many Kerry players as man of the match over the last couple of years. The question is there another Kerry player to be added to the list today?
Yes, there is, but a difficult choice enough today, because on a day in which Kerry were brilliant, difficult to pick any one man. I had to choose between Mikey Sheehy, Sean Walsh, Jerry McEntee and Colm Coyle, but I have chosen Mikey Sheehy because he was like the Mikey Sheehy of 10 years ago. He, very sprightly, all over the field, had a hand in most scores and most Kerry movements, scored 4 great points as well.
Mikey Sheehy, indeed, like so many of these Kerry players, seems to be getting better as they're getting older.
True, really, and I think that a number of factors are contributing to this. First of all, this Kerry team, they have very skillful footballers. Secondly, their dedication and commitment is unbelievable. Like in the Munster final now, it was very obvious that a lot of them were carrying excess weight. What happened? Mick O'Dwyer called some of them in for special attention and extra training, and today they look like only like pocket editions of what they looked like in the Munster final. Now, obviously, they had to train very hard, suffer. Their commitment, I think, is unparalleled with other teams, because I don't think there are many other teams willing to train like this. Then also, we cannot underestimate the guiding light of Mick O'Dwyer. Mick O'Dwyer didn't have to prove himself before today, but I think today's victory will please him very much, because he certainly proved himself the coach supreme today. There's no doubt about it, the way he had this team on the field and the form that he had them in.
But where do you think the motivation is now for these Kerry players? I mean, look at your own situation. You retired and you were 28. Obviously, at 28, you decided that you'd done anything you wanted to do in football. What keeps these guys going?
Well, I think that, first of all, they have great comradeship, because they have soldiered together through the years, through thick and thin. They've built up a great understanding, great teamwork. They've got to enjoy winning, and they enjoyed... Now, also, we can't underestimate Dwyer's influence. When things are beginning to lag, he motivates them, gets them going again. One year they have to win it from Mike Sheehy. The next year they have to win it for somebody else, you know. But there's always somebody. They're always working, always being motivated. But certainly today's performance was great.
And now, Ger Canning put the point to Mick O'Dwyer that Kerry are obviously going to be the hottest favourites for a long time for the All-Ireland final. I really can't see the Kerry players losing their heads between now and the 21st of September.
No, they're going to be very, very hot favourites. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, this will be a great help to Tyrone, because Tyrone will come into this final now. They will be complete outsiders. There won't be any pressure on them, because they will have all to gain and nothing to lose, you know. So they have every chance of making a game of it.
And you would still give them a chance, a good chance?
I would give them a chance, yeah.
All right, Enda, well, all that is something for another day. It's going to be a fascinating final, I think, in many ways. And Enda, thank you very much for the moment. Now, the Cork minor team today made it a monster double at Croke Park when they beat a highly fancied Dublin side in the opening match there.